Well, today we've got 3 former players in the shape of Stuart, Rafferty, Ross Jack and Davie Irons, who were all here around about the same time in the late 80s. And Ross, you came first.
Yeah.
Signed from Dundee.
Yeah, came from Dundee midway through the season, I think. And then I think Davie joined before Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raymond Farningham in between.
Yeah, when you joined we were in the Premier League then.
Yeah, so it's my fault we got relegated. Is that what you're trying to say?
Definitely.
I was going to say that. But that first season you didn't score many goals.
No, I scored a couple on my debut at Motherwell, and then
That's right.
got 1 or 2, but no, it wasn't a great season for me, goals wise.
No, but I don't think it was a great season for the team as a whole, because we kind of struggled in the Premier League.
Yeah, we did a
Started
bit.
off not too bad, but then fell away and
We had to regroup again and then got
Yeah.
better the following season.
yeah. But what made you come to Dunfermline?
The coach at the time, Ian Munro, he approached me and asked me would I like to come through, and once I came through and met Laois and Ian Munro, the rest was history. They sold the club to me, and Laois was fantastic about promoting the club and selling it and making me feel wanted, so yeah, there wasn't much of a choice in the end.
Because you started off down in England, your career then.
Yeah, I had 10 years in England and then came up to Dundee and then eventually joined Bars.
Yeah. And then, although we got relegated, that was a season, I think, that we beat Rangers in the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
Year, so.
Yeah, that was a great game. I mean, remember the game well. Mark Smith scored with a cross. No, it was he claims it with a shot. It was a cross. It sailed over Chris Wood's head, off the perfect start.
Yeah.
And then John Brown got involved in an altercation with Mark again, and I think John was sent off. So advantage us, and everything went against them. And later in the game, Winker sealed it. Yes, it was a very memorable day.
Yeah. At that time we kind of beat the Celtic Rangers a few times.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had good success. I remember one time at Parkhead.
Yeah.
Stuart had scored a fantastic goal in the first half. A long range effort from about 25 yards there, Stuart?
Yeah.
I was getting longer, probably 40 at the end of the interview.
12.
And then it looks like it was going to stay that way, but Andy Walker missed a penalty. Westy, brilliant save again. Westy had one of his great games. We were under the cosh, and then we broke away in the last couple of minutes, and I managed to put them past Packy Bonner.
That was your only goal of the game.
That was my only goal in my 2 years that we're here. And I thought for once I'm going to get the headlines. It was 89 minutes and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to get the headlines here, and then Ross goes up the park and scores. I was happy at the time because we were under a bit of pressure, but of course you get the headlines, don't you?
But it was a cracking goal for your one and only one.
I was okay. It was okay. I won 2 with Ross. I think Ross played me in and I managed to kind of toe poke it in. But no, it was good. It's good memories.
Yeah. And then the following season, obviously we did back down at the first division, and then you came along that season.
Well, I actually came just towards the end of the season in the Premier League with 10 games to go. And I signed actually the week after we played Rangers. So I think there's about 10 games to go, so at least signed me just to make sure we did get relegated. But no, it was obviously I signed it that following week, and there was a real buzz about the place. And just as Ross was saying, it was at that time there was a real something special about Dunfermline. They seemed to be a real popular within the community, and everybody seems to be pulling in the right direction. It was an easy fit and an easy sell. Certainly for Laois at the time, with the world-class training facility as well that we used to use. At least told us about. It was a converted driving range. He says, I remember the day I came through to sign, he's telling me that I've got a great facility, it's one of the best in Europe. We drove up and I saw this golf driving range. I thought, am I playing golf or am I signing for a football club? But no, it was some great times and some great teammates as well over the time I was here. So.
Because you signed from Clydebank.
Clydebank, yeah. were still in existence. I think there's something about my clubs that all seem to go bust or something. But it's Jack Steedman ran. They were a good
That's
club.
right.
You know, they had a model at that time. Just seemed to bring players in and sell them on. They sold a lot of players over the years. And he managed to convince them family to spend a few more quid, which it was my first experience of full-time football when I came here.
Right.
And it was really exciting times.
You were, how would I describe you? You were more a...
Careful.
No, you were a kind of cultured midfielder.
I'll take that.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Davie's modest.
Yeah.
There's two beside me. They're both, no, seriously, they're both cultured,
Yeah.
class players. And you know, although I was fortunate to score some goals, I couldn't be done without the likes of Stuart, Davie, Paul Smith, Raymond Farningham,
Yeah.
and the other ones in the team. You know, they made my job less difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, this team spirit, though, and I'm not just saying this because we're sitting together and you know, we don't see a lot of each other, but you know, when we do meet up, there's that big kind of bond that's been created 30 years ago, and it's we still have a laugh and a joke about things. But you know, I think there's a lot of good footballers. Raf had a lot of experience in his career. Ross scored. I mean, he was tremendous at Dunfermline. He's probably look back and
that's
think it's probably his best time in his
Professionally,
career.
definitely.
But there's a lot of good players.
There was, I mean, as you said, we had a lot of good midfielders, and you were here as a striker, and we had Winker, and we had George Boyle came along, and then Isfan. So, and defence, you had Norrie, and well, we had Gary Riddle, and then we had maybe Young earlier
Big
on.
Grant Tierney as well.
So it was a good squad at that time over those few years that you were here.
Yeah, there's a lot to be made of the camaraderie, but it's true. I mean, we might have played hard, but we definitely, we worked extremely hard. And obviously the bond, the common denominator was Winker and Norrie. Who pulled us all together and just made sure that we had a good time, but also we worked hard. Simple as that. And when it came to being a leader, there was not many better than Norrie.
Yeah, because Bobby Smith was here as well.
Bobby, outstanding player.
Bobby captained the team.
Yeah, Bobby was captain. We had Stuart Beattie as well. Yeah, it was a great bunch of guys, but good, like Dave and Stuart said, excellent footballers. Wow, they could play.
Because that well, your second season we won the First Division Championship, and that was a bit of a kind of nip and tuck between us and Falkirk for a while. And we finally came up.
It was nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
it was. I think I think we had 3 or 4 games to the end of the season. We knew we had to get over the line, but it just seemed to take forever. Obviously it did take till the last game. It was the last game.
That's
but
right.
we had a couple of games before that at home that we just never performed. Clyde, I think we drew one each.
That's right.
I think Westies kind of fumbled one, and it was like a strange goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If we'd won that day, we'd have been it. But
who was it? The final game was Meadowbank, wasn't it? Because I can remember watching that and thinking, pleased for Ross, obviously, because I knew Ross from Dundee, but didn't think at the time I would be there in a couple of months' time. But so I was glad I went up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you come to Dunfermline?
After they had got up, they swapped myself and Stuart Beattie. Gordon Wallace had taken over at Dundee, and I kind of knew for a couple of months that it was maybe coming to the end of my time, new manager in, and they decided to swap us over. And as I say, so I get brought here to keep them up because they kept getting them relegated, so that was probably one of the reasons. But no, it was a brilliant time here, great 2 years, good memories as we say, and the bunch of boys we had I was thinking about it coming through in the car there, and just it's different now. Clubs are different. They've all got training grounds and stuff like that. They don't travel in a minibus to training, which is Yeah, as you can, and I see you all nodding your head, but it was a great bond we had, even on the bus and stuff like that, going to games. And I mean, players nowadays, if you look at them, they just listen to music, they don't talk to each other, but it was different. We had a great time, and as I say, a great bond.
Yeah.
I think it showed when we came in the door. Billy Braisby came in and just started laughing, and that summed up the spirit at the time. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the trips we had end of the season, even during the season, you know, it was just the boys. It didn't matter who you roomed with at that time. You could room with anybody, but
that's right.
Everybody got on, and
but
that played a big part in success.
But it was a great club to come to, because Ross had told me obviously a bit about it, but it felt like a big club, and how they did things was like a big club. Like if you got to quarter-finals and semi-finals, which we were doing at the time. You were treated really, really well, like maybe what Celtic and the Rangers were doing at the time. So they tried to do things the right way, and definitely worked for that period of time.
Yeah. And there had been a feel-good factor anyway, because we had been so low, and then when Laois took over, we gradually improved and kept winning from the second division up. So there was a feel-good factor around the club and the town anyway, because they had improved, and you know, all these new players were coming in and hopefully pushing them on a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it reflected in the gates. We had fantastic gates. If you look at the gates in the first division, you know, this place was sold out almost compared to, you know, what it is now. But, you know, there was good times, and like Davie said, great bond with the public. The players were out. We did functions, and everybody was together, and it just brought everybody close. Yeah. And God knows how Laois managed to do it. Cheapers. No, he was tremendous. But you know, he had good people around him. But he was a fantastic leader. Yeah.
What did Laois do then that was different?
Nothing.
I don't know. There's a certain type of manager. I mean, I've always at Motherwell had Jock Wallace that I responded really well to and played well under him. Archie Knox at Dundee. Laois here, that type of manager like Jock Wallace, kind of that motivational more than maybe been more of a coach. Archie was a coach as well, obviously, but he could motivate you too. And I responded well to that, so I was lucky when I came here. So it needs it's kind of a partnership, isn't it? Yeah, but him and Ian Munro, it did work really well.
I think one of Laois's strongest points was he could identify players. You know, going about coaching, I think Laois obviously, he'd admit he wasn't a coach as such, but he identified experienced players that knew their job, knew exactly what to do, knew the leagues, and I think that was probably one of his strong points. You know, 'cause
I agree with that. I think that's
it was
really important.
It was, you know, and obviously Ian Munro was kind of took most of the training, but Laois was always there. He always a banter, always a laugh and a joke, and he kept the spirits really high. And that season we spoke about winning promotion, I remember the tension and the pressure towards the end of the season, but Jim managed to just deflect that.
Definitely.
Helped us get over the line. So
you know, we had Ian Munro and Phil Bonnyman, both excellent coaches, but you know, Laois was a bit different. And like Davie said, we responded to him. Don't get me wrong, we had our fallouts, but you'd go and have after an argument in the office, and you called in and you forget what you had to argue about. Just come out in stitches again. You know, that's what it was like. So there was no grudges. Get on with it.
I'm sure I get his secretary just to ring the phone every 10 seconds because he'd interrupt your conversations. Gaffer, can I have a word? And his phone would ring. 2 seconds. What were you on? The phone would ring again. He ended up just walking out, didn't he? Giving up.
No, that's it.
I think at Petrivi, he'd appear sometimes with his trackie on with dress shoes like this, which is a first. I've never seen that before, so that always kept you amused.
Freddie Boswell was the boys' club.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
There's plenty of stories, but when it came to match day, everybody was focused and knew exactly their job, what we had to do, and thankfully we did it quite well that season.
Yeah. And you finished up, well, the time you were here, Ross, you were top goal scorer for 3 of the seasons here that you were
like I say.
playing. But you also, one thing I was going to ask you, you scored penalties as well, you took penalties.
I scored 1 or 2, I missed a couple as well, but
But what would you say was maybe the best way to take a penalty?
I just used to smash it because
Did
if
you
I
ever
didn't know
change
what-
your mind?
probably the ones I missed, yeah.
Right.
But normally I would just hit it as hard as I could, and if the keeper guessed right, then fair play to him. But I didn't have much of a science behind it. Just
Right.
try and well it as hard as I could and hope for the best.
So what do you think of them taking penalties now?
It's all different now because most goalkeepers, most football clubs have got data on the penalty taker from each club. So they predict, or they've got videos to tell what's going right or left. But then also the penalty taker's got video of the goalkeeper, how he's reacted to last penalties. And it's just cat and mouse. So you've got to be really cool, and some of them are a bit more sophisticated and skillful than I could have ever been. And wait until the last minute, wait the keeper moves and then they slotted away. I didn't have the bottle to do that. I just up and smashed it out, get out the way quickly.
But even the keepers then couldn't move.
Yeah,
that's
When
right.
we played.
That's right,
Now they're
yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
But just going back, Ross, you had confidence in your teammates. Ross, I know he said he missed a couple, but you just knew when Ross was in front of goal. That couple of seasons he was prolific. You just knew he was going to score. So.
Yeah.
Certainly with the penalties anyway. It was,
And you two were the providers.
Yeah.
well, I liked one or two, I think.
One or two, yeah. I'd like to think.
Yeah.
Provider of penalties or providers? Yeah.
Ross, you played up front with Winker and George Boyle and Trevor Smith was
Trevor.
here as well.
It's fun.
Eddie
That's
Gallagher
fine.
went another one.
Who, out of the ones that you played here with, was the best partner for you up front?
It's
Or
difficult.
did you
They all had
enjoy-
different qualities. I
Yeah.
mean, Isfan, different qualities from George, totally different from Winker, different from Trevor. The best partnership for a while was myself and George. George could do things that I couldn't do, and vice versa. And before George scored, he went 20 odd games when he failed to find the net. But out in that 20, he made a hell of a lot for me. And then when I played up front with Winker, Winker was just more skill than people give him credit for. Obviously renowned for his aerial ability, but on the ground and setting people up and linking play, John was excellent. Great for me. So I couldn't really pick one above the rest. They're all different styles. Yeah.
Cosmo was an outstanding football player.
Fish fan.
Yeah.
No, but what we all admired about Isfan was he wanted to be part of the team. You know, he came in this reputation for Bordeaux and supposed to be big money and all the rest of it. But he wanted to be part of the boys. You know, he'd never played pool before, he'd never played golf. But he wanted to embrace the culture, didn't he, the Scots? And we taught him things he's probably regretting now, mind you, but still.
Well, it was big money because it was 5 times more than what we got.
Well, that's right.
It was a big change at that time.
Yeah.
It changed the whole culture of the club, to be honest. I mean, as Raf and Ross were saying, we at least could come in and throw 13 wage packets without any names on it. You just pick one up because we're all on the same kind of money. But that's obviously, we couldn't do that for this fan. But it was. He
This
certainly
one's came in a wheelbarrow, didn't
It
it?
did. I think you're getting instalments, didn't you? But it did. It changed. It did change the culture at the club a wee bit. But as Ross said, he was a popular guy amongst them, and he did try and fit in with everybody. And he knew more than he let on at times.
Yeah,
definitely.
He was club.
He made on that his English wasn't great, but if he dropped a fiver, he knew. If somebody said, "It's funny, you dropped a fiver," he knew exactly what you were saying. But no, he could do things that,
Yeah, he was.
thankfully, earned us a win bonus.
Yeah.
You know, he might have been lazy, he might do this, but he had a piece of magic that could turn a game. And if that won the game, then forgive him, it's not a problem. You know, at first he didn't work probably as hard as he could have done.
Yeah.
But as he got to know the league and the culture and the, you know, the first division at the time, he definitely wanted to be part of it, wanted to improve, and yeah, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
He brought a wee bit of magic to the club
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
You know, a wee bit of foreign sort of element that was something we hadn't really had at that time.
No.
There hadn't been many foreign boys. But
There's a few people who couldn't understand.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Jimmy Knight, guys like that. But no,
guys from Kelty.
He could play. He was no doubt he could play.
And he's also got, we've spoken to him as well, and he's also got an affection for his time here at the club as well, that he thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We've met up a couple of times, Ispan and I, for the past players and things. Yeah, he keeps in touch. He's a
Yeah.
Good guy. Good coach as well now, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think he's on his 6th marriage, but still. No, sorry. Tell a lie. 7.
Yeah. So we ended up in the Premier League, and we managed to stay there. For,
Yeah, we did.
Well, the length of time that you guys were
Yeah.
here, we
Yeah.
managed to stay in the Premier League. But was it hard going? Was it different
It was-
to playing in the first division?
Well, I don't know if the guys I had just came to the club, but it was to begin with. It was a wee bit. This is just personally. It was. I was kind of in and out the team to begin with, up until we got to the cup semi-final, and myself and Smudger were on the bench for that game. But after we get in after that and played in the middle together, things kind of we went on a good run of results. Ross was scoring as we've mentioned, and it certainly was quite easy to play in that team because everybody was working hard with a wee bit of quality with Isfan and George and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe we kind of dipped a wee bit because we got, I think, a third of the way through the season. We were top of the league, after the Motherwell game,
We had a party.
which
That's right.
I know.
We had a party and the next day of training. Top of the league.
Top of the league, which was amazing. It never happened to me in all my time playing and up to then, and it was a great feeling. And I think we dipped a wee bit after that. Maybe it was that party, but I think staying up was the main thing that year and the big thing. That you weren't yo-yoing up and down. And no, it was great. It was good memories of that night. I think
If you look at
I don't know who scored, but
if you look at the teams at that time, the Rangers squad, Celtic squad, Aberdeen, Dundee United, Hearts, Hibs, they were. You're talking some full international players. It was a tough division to be in, but I thought it was as Raf said, I think the whole aim of that season was to try and stay up, and certainly.
But we went through. I mean, I know we went through a dodgy run, but we went through a fantastic run at the start.
Yeah.
You know,
We did.
we were up there on merit
That's
at
right.
the top of the league. It was no fluke.
Yeah.
You know, but we couldn't sustain it. It was just but we survived, and that was a great thing. But obviously, we wanted to finish further up the league. But it was a great spell we went through. Fantastic spell. Good feeling.
Yeah.
What happened then? Because you would still have been here when Leash, there was a split when Leash left. And, was going to get moved on, and so Ian Munro took over. So it was
Ross was fishing in Ireland at the time in the boat. Where were you, Raf? I was on the golf course.
I don't know.
Going pre-season to Ireland, it was
Pre-season.
absolutely hilarious.
Portadown, was it?
Portadown.
Yeah.
Portadown.
Ross
The
thought he was
Seagull
getting
Hotel.
us. He was out at a fishing competition, and all of a sudden these speedboats
I
appeared.
was invited to this nice fishing competition, a nice quiet lake as they called it in Ireland, and so I'm out there in the boat fishing. Next thing, all these speedboats came. Oh, for goodness sake! I was in a little rowing boat, and this fancy speedboats were flying about the lake, and I was supposed to have a nice peaceful fishing afternoon. I chose to go fishing while the rest played golf.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had a meeting in a hotel, and that was when the news came out that they'd parted company.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mr. Munro was going to take the reins.
Yeah. How did that feel then? Because Leash had been a big part of the club, and I suppose bringing you in. So
Yeah.
how did that change?
If the club, I'm sure that looking back, they probably didn't deal with it very well, very professionally, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. But at the time, the players we were put in a very awkward position, which probably wasn't very fair.
I don't know if we actually really knew totally what was going on. We were out in Portadown at the time, and we were reading stuff in papers and hearing stuff second hand, and as you say, we were put in a wee bit of an awkward position, and I don't think anybody wanted to really think. We'd done so well the season before with the management team. I don't think anybody really wanted that to change at all.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't. But in behind the scenes, other people were wanting different things. I think.
Certainly affected my career at Dunfermline Football Club. You know, under Leash and Ian Munro, I thought they had a number of years left at the football club. But Ian came in as a coach, fantastic for me. I've got to hold my hands up. He was a brilliant coach, especially with one-on-ones. He was excellent for me. But when he became manager, his managerial style didn't suit me, and my playing style didn't suit him as a manager. So unfortunately, we had to part, which was disappointing for me. But
it caused a big rift in the club between the club and the fans, and I think it didn't go down too well, and it was a shame really because of the success that they'd had prior to that. And
a lot of good work that kind of got undone over that period, and as I say, looking back, as Ross said, Ian Monroe was a wonderful coach. Leash was a brilliant PR for the club. As a pair, it was probably an ideal combination, but for whatever reason, you know, it didn't quite. They weren't satisfied with that. And but you're right, it did create a split, and I think the club suffered for a number of years after that. I think the three of us all kind of left. I think the following season, we all kind of left at the same sort of time. Stuart went down to Greenock, Ross went to Kilmarnock, I went to Thistle, and I think you could see the club, certainly the squad we were, they've totally dismantled. And it was sad to see, actually.
Yeah, it was a sad time for us all at the club. Tough decision, but when you feel wanted by somebody else and not as popular as you were with the last regime, then it's decisions have to be made, and the three of us were not made to feel wanted at the time, so move on. Here, I mean, we wanted somebody else, but not here. Which, it was disappointing to leave in these circumstances, but life goes on.
Yeah, and I suppose in a way that's football.
Correct.
It is. I found it tough personally. I found it because of the friendships, in particular, that I'd made at the time. It was really difficult leaving, and you know, you go into a club and you have to start all over again. And well, Ross and Raffers obviously the same. They had to do it, but it was a difficult period because I think the three of us probably felt we had a wee bit of time left at the club. And we were kind of, as Ross said, it's pretty obvious we weren't going to be playing, and somebody else was happy to take us on. So three of us left. Graham Robertson had left. That's right. Ray Farning, Ray and I went to Thistle together.
Trevor Smith.
Trevor left. So it's quite a turnover.
It's just strange how the chemistry altered so quickly. You know, Ian had his methods of management, and he had an idea of how he wanted the team to play, which was different from what it had been the last couple of years, and fair play. He came in and he wanted to clean slate, and we weren't part of that format going forward.
Which I suppose in a way is difficult to take when you think that, you know, you're not wanted. if you know what I mean, you're not wanted, and it's difficult, you know, to take that on board, I suppose.
You see everywhere.
It's always going to happen. A new manager comes in, it happens.
We've all got a shelf life, haven't we? You know? But it was sad at the time, but you know, we're sitting here, we're still remembering the good times
still,
that we had.
Still plays a massive
big part
in our careers and our life.
I was going to say, how looking back on your time here, you know, how would you describe it?
Probably a really happy time for me. It's probably one of the best. I think I came here when I was about 29, so you're just probably at your peak then, and it was so enjoyable. You get great memories every time you go out and look at the pitch. I know it's changed, but to remember the way it used to be in the crowds packed in for like the Celtic game here, I think Ross and Isfahan scored in the atmosphere. You can still see some of it on YouTube and stuff like that. But even Rangers games were always packed. It was a great experience here. But walking down out that it was different here as well. Walking down those stairs out of the dressing rooms just next to us was really kind of something different. I don't think there was any ground like that. It was really kind of there was something special about that, and coming out and when it's packed as well, and the way the terracing used to get around, it was something quite special about the club.
I've got to agree with Stuart. It was a tremendous feeling, and obviously professionally it was a fantastic club for me. And reached heights that I could only dream about, and it was just, great to be part of it. Good players, great supporters, and fortunately it fell into place for me here for a while. It didn't start off that great, up and down, but good times.
Yeah.
Same. It was my first experience of full-time football, and it was everything I imagined it would be, and more. And just getting a chance to play at the top level, get a chance to travel. I know I touched on about the trips away, and just a great. After 4 seasons, it was just a big part of my footballing career, and one that I look back with a lot of memories, and proud to say that I was part of a successful team at that time.
Is there any game that stands out for you that you played in here?
Probably that one I've mentioned, the Celtic game.
Celtic.
Is probably that one. The scoring, the Celtic game here. But the either scoring at Parkhead was good. My one and only goal, so I do remember that. But there's other good memories. We beat Hibs in the quarter-final at Easter Road. That was a big
After
moment.
extra time, wasn't it?
Extra time.
Getting to that semi after extra time, and
Remember the bonus we got as well?
yeah, it was a good big bonus as well.
Always run about.
Running
Before the
about.
game's finishing, I've got the bonus.
So memories like that were
Remember it?
excellent.
Well, it was a great moment as well, that one at Easter Road, because Big Doug Ruby, who was here, legend, what a character,
Oh,
absolute fantastic character, great guy, and could play.
Yeah.
I think Doug scored, was it the equaliser that night to take it into extra time? And then Paul Smith and myself, but it was a fantastic evening, and great memories. And the support that night was terrific. It was a horrible night, torrential rain, and I remember Andy Gorham was in goals for Hibs, but that was a great performance and a great win for us that night. And like Davie said, the bonus wasn't bad either.
I don't remember the games as much, I just remember the holidays we had.
There was some characters, like Big Dougie was. He had the shortest long throw ever, didn't he? But a brilliant big guy.
Used to go down like he'd been shot and stretcher case was on, but he'd be jumping off the stretcher before he got to the touchline and get back on. But he was a good guy.
You always thought that nobody would mess with Diggory on the pitch.
Well,
no, you certainly wouldn't mess with him at training and stuff, or in the bath or anything like that.
He's a big gentle giant, wasn't he? He used to come on his motorbike.
It's a fun.
Honestly.
there was a talking about not messing with him. There was a game we beat St Mirren out there when Isfan scored his hat trick. But at half time we'd come in 2-1 up, and Big Dougie wasn't having that great a game. So Leash was in the stand. I think he'd been suspended or something. So Ian Munro went into the physio's room to tell Leash, right, you've got to tell Big Dougie this, tell Big Dougie that, tell him this, he's no doing this, he's no doing that. We could all hear in the dressing room, so Big Dougie's just waiting for this. He's turning green, turning into the Incredible Hulk, so he was, and as Ian he's waiting for Ian coming out of the physio room with his fist clenched, wasn't he? And then there was a big kind of stramash and whatever. But
Dougie wasn't going to go back out for the second half.
No, that's right. But Isfan was cowering in the corner. He was scared. He was curled up in a wee ball.
That's why Isfan scored his hat-trick.
And he went out and scored a hat-trick.
He was so scared to play bad after that, he thought.
But not going to mess with Big Dougie. But I don't think we could hear anything. We heard the full conversation. But and then Leash was getting pushed out in front of Minnie. But Big Dougie was trying to get beyond Leash to get it. Maybe in hindsight we should have let him get him.
You might still have been here.
I think looking back, winning the championship that day was a big. We're talking, obviously it's 30 years since it happened, and 30 years just seems such a
just flown by.
And but that was a wonderful day as well. Nervy, but after the celebrations were just incredible, and that's certainly one game. Always remember.
Because you were all like up in the
That's
stand.
right.
on
yeah.
the stand, I think it was
Yeah.
13,000 or
What
something
a
against
crowd.
Meadowbank.
Yeah.
No
Amazing.
disrespect, but Meadowbank probably brought 2 men and a dog.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so
That's
you've got
right.
13,000 Dunfermline fans
Mhm.
just waiting for that final whistle, and obviously John just pulled us out
Yeah,
the
fantastic.
pulled us out the mire when we hadn't played well.
No, we were
Mm.
terrible.
We were awful.
Like Dave said, we were terrible for 3 weeks before that. I know I went through a
Mhm.
barren spell. And Winker, probably not the greatest goal he's ever scored in his life. Not that there's any bad ones, but
Mm.
I think it went through a few legs, and then we just knew what a relief.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was relief,
It
wasn't
was a
it?
relief.
Yeah.
We could tell, and we knew even though it was 1-1, we knew that
That was
we
it.
did enough. Then that was
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Because in those days, only two points for a win and one for a draw. So I think it's
Mhm.
Falkirk.
Mhm.
If a point was enough for us then.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
But-
Yeah, because we won the league by 2 points.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's good. Mhm.
yeah,
But, good memories.
yeah. Good memories, that's for sure.
Mhm. And you went on to, you went on to play with other clubs, but
Mhm.
be involved in football. So are you still involved in football?
Yeah, I went on. Well, went to Morton for 3
Mhm.
years. Worked in the commercial side after that, and then went up to Dundee to do youth development for a year. But
Mhm.
that only lasted. The new owners came in, the Mars
Oh yeah.
at Dundee, so they made wholesale changes, and that was me on my travels again. But around the end of '97, I got a job with the SFA as a development officer for Edinburgh.
Mhm.
And I'm still doing it, not for Edinburgh but now for my local area in Inverclyde, and so I'm still doing that. It's over 20 years now
Yeah.
I've been doing it. So, and these guys were doing it at the same time,
we
man.
were all
Yeah.
at SFA at the same
So
time.
although you have moved on to different things
Mhm.
from then, but I'm still
You're
doing the same.
still doing it,
Still enjoying it. Still
Yeah.
enjoying it. Still keeps you
Well,
involved.
As Raf said, the number of players that ended up coaching at a decent level that were at
Yeah.
this club.
Uh-huh.
You know, obviously these Davie Moyes is
Billy
obvious
Davis.
ones.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Billy Davis,
Mhm.
Ross, myself, Ray Farningham,
Mhm.
Ian McCall. You know,
Mhm.
there's a
Yeah.
Tommy Wilson going
Yeah.
to coaching.
Yep.
There's
Mhm.
a lot of guys going to coaching.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Smudger still.
Paul Smith at
Paul
back at
Smith.
Raith as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
you know, it's Jimmy Nichol had a spell here
Yeah.
as well. You know, there's a lot
Mhm.
of guys that ended up into which
Mhm.
Westy,
Craig Robertson.
Craig Robertson, Westy as well.
Mhm.
Andy Rhodes. You know,
Mhm.
these guys they're all
They're still
that
involved.
time.
all
Yeah.
involved as coaching. So
Mhm.
it's quite a number of players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's no thanks to Leash because he never taught us anything.
Here's how not to coach. Then. But no.
No.
Oh, right. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you three of you, and it's good to see you back here at East End Park.